So here's the best match of the night. Really one of the best matches of the year, I think, so far. The Shield versus the Wyatt family. Just awesome from like the beginning to the end of it. And I don't know what else really to say about that. That kind of sucks to not like go on and on and on about specific things or something like that, but it was intense. These guys really wanted to go out there and prove that they could have the best match of the night. They pulled it off. I mean, everybody shined in this match. Fucking Harper, especially, really took it to the next level.
He fucking
Rollins
did a tope. Harper did a tope. That blew my mind.
insane. He was doing suicide dives and shit, and Rollins was flipping all over the fucking place. And you could have easily made this match about Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, but all other four members of those teams ended up playing a big part of it. Fucking Eric Rowan even wasn't bad. And he's usually the weakest person out of all of these people. And he was able to handle his sections of the match. So just from beginning to end, this was just a fucking great match. And right now, I gotta say, it's probably the lead candidate for me for match of the year. Peyton?
Absolutely. This match was just freaking awesome. I wanted to say something like, it's good. Just like cold like that. But you know what? I do have a lot to say about this. Every single person, as you were saying, shined so well. I think the person who really did impress me the most was Luke Harper. And I've always said that I saw potential in this guy. He had a really cool look, and he showed signs of having a good amount of work ethic. This match, he finally showed it. And he's also been talking a little bit more on the mic lately. They've been giving a little bit of time when they're doing their Wyatt family promos. Not a lot. He'll only say like one or two lines. And then Rowan will say run, but he's actually getting a little bit of actual, sentences to put out there. This match, though, when he did that tope, I jumped out of my seat. I couldn't believe a guy that big dived through the ropes to the outside like that. It almost reminded me of like when the Undertaker does the plancha over the top. Only this time he's diving through the ropes, which is honestly even tougher for a guy that size. Rowan pulled his own weight, which is something I don't think I really see him do very often. He really held his own. Unfortunately, I wish he would pull his wedgie out. I think that would be the optimal thing here. The Shield guys, but I don't need to sing much more praise about those guys. We've been talking about how awesome the Shield is, especially in their six-man matches for over a year now. These guys are just freaking amazing. I just want to follow up what I said last week. I want this feud to continue. I don't want the Shield to break up. I want to see Wyatt's versus Shield become like Freebirds versus the Von Erichs of this generation. I want this to last and last and last. And I want these guys to have battles and street fights. I want them to have steel cage matches. I want them to bring back war games for these two guys to go against each other. I want this to be one of the biggest ground warfare feuds that WWE has had since the invasion.
You know what? I would much rather them have another 3-on-3 match with some kind of a gimmick at WrestleMania than to do what is one of the the possible things where they're talking about splitting them up into different matches and just having Harper and Rowan against Rollins and Reigns. I don't want to see that. And I really don't right now want to see John Cena against Bray Wyatt. I don't know who else John Cena can end up facing instead, but
Anesthesia.
Who?
Anesthesia.
I'm sitting there thinking it's like an NXT person. That's like ridiculous. I'm like, I don't remember Anesthesia. What was a diva? Like, but I don't want to see John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, and I don't want to see John Cena against the Wyatt family in a handicap match either. So, as much as I do want to see the Shield eventually break up and have a big match in like a triple threat stance against each other, I'm okay with seeing some more between the 3-on-3 here, as long as they give it some kind of a gimmick or they give it some kind of a weight and value to it instead of just a flat-out rematch. I would much rather them do that and figure out something else for John Cena at WrestleMania. And I don't know what that spot is. Maybe he does something against the Authority with Kane, or maybe maybe John Cena's thrown into the title match and you have John Cena against Randy Orton and Batista. I don't know, but the strength of this match alone, it's a much easier chance to sell me on continuing this feud than obviously if this match would have sucked. Then it would have been like, you have to break the Shield up now. Wigo, I know you did see this match though.
It was okay. Yeah, this match was awesome, and I actually watched it after watching the Sami Zayn versus Cesaro match. So I've just had like a
Oh,
couple of days of awesome matches. I tuned into Elimination Chamber during the Alberto Del Rio and fucking Batista match, so I had to go back and find this. Um, I think it lived up to the hype, and people hyped this matchup so much. It was weird seeing Luke Harper just fucking fly like that. All guys showcased, all guys looked really strong. Um, and I've got to say, and agree with Peyton, that Luke Harper was definitely the one that shone the most from his previous performances. I was the guy here that said that I didn't think this match was going to deliver. I couldn't have been more than fucking. I couldn't be more wrong if I tried. They proved me wrong, and now I want to see more of it. But unfortunately, with the way Mania's looking, I don't think we're going to get it.
you know what else was cool that happened during this match that um, I know when I was watching it with, Dace and my normal crew people, some people didn't notice it, and I had to point it out to them. I don't know if you guys had noticed it, but when they were brawling on the outside and they were setting up for somebody to go through the announcer's table, Ricardo Rodriguez kept pointing and telling them to do it on the other announcer's table and not the Spanish announcers.
That's awesome.
And then when Seth Rollins got chokeslammed through it, later on they showed the Spanish announcer sitting there, and fucking Ricardo takes his set of notes and he like picks it up and then he throws it down and gives this look of like, so look, I don't have a fucking table. Like,
I did see that second part. I didn't hear them at the first time though. That's hilarious. That's a good little touch.
or he's just kind of like, no, use that one. That one's that's the table you're supposed to.
Speaking
Like,
of
oh
quirky
fuck.
moments, the one thing that did kind of seem to set people off, it didn't bother me as much, but I have noticed a lot of people making jokes about it, was just the random disappearance of Dean Ambrose at the end. They really didn't fully explain that. They should have shown like Bray doing his sister Abigail on the concrete in the crowd or something to explain why he was just disappeared for all that time.
Right, because Rollins got chokeslammed through the table, so
Hmm.
that made sense for him not to be able to come out and do a save. But Ambrose just sort of disappeared, and they kind of tried to build onto that the next night on Raw, where they were like, "Where did you go last night?" And he was like, "I already explained it," which is like kind of just telling the fans, just forget about that.
But just to touch on something Steven had also said there, between this and all the matches we got on NXT, I'm not used to getting this much fantastic wrestling in one week. It really just kind of caught me by surprise, especially like with how down morale has been going into this WrestleMania season, to have something like this and all featuring guys of the future, majority of which of these guys weren't either around at WrestleMania last year or certainly weren't going to be a part of anything major on the card. So I think that speaks volumes that we're seeing it from guys like Roman Reigns, Luke Harper, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. These are the guys who, as I was saying before, are going to be the next generation that's going to lead us into the bright days that I hope could hopefully be another high point for wrestling.
Can't disagree. So we have a downer to go with next, which is going to be like the lowest point of the whole night. The Divas Championship between AJ Lee and Cameron.